I constantly say this, and unfortunately, it's unfortunate for investors who don't know me or someone like me to go out and view properties before they buy them. Here's the problem. We know that there's a mad dash on properties here in Detroit. Detroit is probably the only place that you can get a property for $5,000, $6,000, $2,000. I mean, a house. I mean, who buys a house in the year 2012 for $2,000 or $3,000? I mean, and then rehab it for $5,000 or $6,000. I mean, it's unheard of. The problem I have right now with a lot of investors who want to come into this game is they just think that you can come right in and start generating income right off the bat. No, it doesn't work that way. There's somebody in the UK that's offering these package deals for like $30,000 for a house with what was a 5-year guaranteed rental. Nobody can guarantee you 5 years. Nobody gonna pay no rent for 5 years. Nobody can guarantee that. So if you guys run across those people who's doing that, stay away from them, because I'm about to tell you the dark side of real estate, because it don't work that way. I'm a landlord and slash investor slash whatever, right? That's what I am. And I'm not your average landlord. You got landlords who just don't care, who just don't give a shit whatsoever. And they don't do nothing to their places. I mean, look at my videos. Their places is falling down. As long as they get their money, they don't care. I had a landlord friend who had disruptive people in his house. And that was the only bad spot on the block. I mean, they would play music to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, put the speakers out. Who in the hell plays music at 4 o'clock in the morning with the speakers on the porch? I mean, like it was summertime, and everybody was like, man, what's up? And I talked to that landlord. I said, man, your tenants over there is off the hook, man. I mean, it was really quiet before they came. They changed the face of the neighborhood, just one family. I said, you need to do something about that, man. And I think they're selling drugs too. You know what he told me? He said, man, that Section 8 money kind of hard to give up. And potential tenants, oh my God. If you don't get a decent house, just because the house is cheap, if you don't get a decent house in a decent area, it's going to take twice as long to rent the place out. I guarantee you. I've seen situations where it took 3, 4, 5 months to rent a place out. Well, that's simply because you might have somebody who's not qualified. They don't have a job. You got Pookie and Ray Ray, Chiquaqua, who always call them about I do hair. Oh my God. The times I hear me and Dave here, I do hair. It's crazy. You can't rent to nobody like that. But here's the problem. You get these places, they go on, the investor, the client is real happy they got their place. It's up and running. They threw $5, $6, $7, $10,000 into them to make it look good, presentable, and now it's sitting, waiting on a renter. I tell people that all the time. So I get these calls like, when my place is going to get rented out? Oh my God, I'm just getting so stressed out. How long is it going to take? Well, this is something that you knew from the very beginning. This is the dark side of real estate. It's nothing guaranteed. Just like that 5-year rental thing, that's not guaranteed. And I'm not going to sit here and guarantee you that I'm going to get you a renter in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It doesn't work that way. You want to make certain you get the right renter. Properties, there's a property that you mentioned that has people in it. Well, if the property is for sale and they're in there, guess what? They ain't paying no rent. Bet you that. So that means they was living comfortable for a long time. So now you come along and say, you got to start paying me or leave. Oh no. Custer's last stance, baby. They're going to sit there and they're going to go to the system because they know the system. They know it's going to take, you got to get a 30-day notice. They know that you got to file that paperwork and then you got a court date 10 days from there. So they know that's 40 days right there. They know already that the judge is going to give them another 10 days. Hello, 50. They got 50 days now. They know this. They know that you got to go down and file an order of writ. And the judge got to sign it. It goes upstairs and it's signed to a bailiff. Then they're going to say, It'll be another 2 to 3 weeks before we can get out there, maybe 4. And then you got to put a dumpster in front of their house. That's $400. Then the bailiff's going to charge you $80 to $100 per room. Pow! $900. So if you're going to get into this market, understand this is how it is and this is how it's going to be. So yeah, you just can't be playing Mr. Nice Guy with these people sometimes. And I really want to do. I said, well, see, that's what I'm saying. This is the other side. This is the dark side of real estate. This is the side that they don't. This is not textbook shit. That like my buddy Sean in Ohio, he said, hey man, I'm studying real estate, blah blah blah. He said this they don't show you this type of stuff in the books. Of course not. That's not. I mean, you got to dig down in the trenches. I mean, because it's rough. If you're not prepared to put in 12 to 14-hour days. I mean, when you're just really getting off in this, then this is not for you. If you're not prepared to constantly put up with so much bullshit when it comes to this, especially if you deal with DTE energy here, oh Lord. Okay. This is what I'm going to say. I had no problem with business is business. I understand that. People make changes all the time in life. But if you're going to come here, if you're going to buy property here, again, everybody's not like me. Royce and I talk about this all the time. But if you're going to buy property here, I mean, it's very, very important to have somebody who's going to be, I mean, really diligent on trying to make certain this type of stuff don't happen. I mean, this could happen to anybody. Yes, it could happen to anybody. There's no question about it. But if you're not constantly watching it, you're not constantly over here. Like, if you watch a lot of my earlier videos of this property, we were here quite a bit. We were here a lot. So we wasn't giving this type of stuff a chance to fester and happen because the neighbors seen us. Neighbors talk to us all the time. They seen us in and out. Even if the place was empty, we was always in and out. But this can only happen if it's not monitored properly. That's how this happened. I know that already. If this place was monitored properly the way that we're monitoring it, this wouldn't happen. I almost guarantee you it wouldn't happen. As a property manager, I want you guys to know this. It's a lot to deal with a property. So, I mean, there's a price. I mean, I'll do it. But I just want you to see the kind of stuff that I had to go through just to be a property manager. I want to address that. I just want people to know that it's not easy being a landlord. It's not, because there's a lot of stuff going on because you got to deal with all types of problems. You got to address it, and I'm going to deal with it. So she's paying her money just like that guy is paying his money. So I got to be the mediator and try to find a happy medium somewhere to make this work. Pretty much. That is right. Now I will say this much: we are guilty of noise. They're guilty of noise. It goes both ways. So he has a point when he says we do things too. That's understandable. But if I know that his family is down there resting, in which their schedules, like I said, is different from mine, they get the utmost respect. Sure. But my son is waking up. He has to be up for school at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I have to be up between 4 and 6. I'm not sleeping. It's in my face, and I'm very upset about it. The perfect tenant. You don't find tenants like this. I mean, guys like this is rare. I wish I can clone him some type of way or make him do a seminar with the rest of my tenants on how to do things the right way and on time so I can stay out of 36th District Court for evictions. Anyway, the problem is this. She's saying that there's a lot of extra noise at 4 o'clock in the morning with the video games. Well, we spoke about that already. You know, she said, hey, she makes noise and you make noise, and so she's guilty of it also. But she just wants to find a medium somewhere, like at maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock, whatever. Even if you want to play your shit at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe you can just kind of like turn it down a little bit so she...
8:15.
All right. It is what it is. It's unfortunate that this had to happen, but in the rental game, this happens. I mean, just not in Detroit, but in a lot of places. So I say it a lot of times in my earlier videos. It's fine for you guys to buy these houses for $3,000, $4,000, you know. But when you start putting thousands of dollars into it, like Dean did at his property, that I hear he got drug dealers in there now. I don't have nothing to do. Thank God, I ain't got nothing to do with that one. But it happens. So I imagine what's going to happen when they get ready to get those people out there, because the neighborhood block club called me because I was the last person over there, so they had my contact information and say, why did you get these people in here? Can you get them out? I said, I ain't got nothing to do with that. In the previous video, but I went to evict the person out of a house that I just took control over. That I didn't put that person in, by the way. Gotta say that. But they got something new going on here. I wasn't even aware of it. Well, you need an attorney to put somebody out of a house. I can't do it. Although I have power of attorney to do a lot of things with the property, which is kind of crazy to me. If I have power of attorney to buy, sell, trade, flip, burn, whatever I want to do, right? But the power of attorney is useless, the judge says, when it comes to putting a person out, because it's not technically my house. Go figure. So he said I had to have an attorney come back. So that was just yesterday. And the tenant, she was all happy, like she thought it was going to be a long process for me to get an attorney. Well, I got an attorney already. So what I did, I told the judge that Friday, my attorney will be here Friday, and he'll do it, no problem. So he had to change the paperwork a little bit, and he's going to do it. So today is Wednesday. So Friday, my attorney will be in court. She has to be back, and she'll have 10 days. Now what's going to happen is this. She was banking on the fact that I couldn't put her out. So she didn't prepare. So she's not prepared to go anywhere. So what's going to happen is she's going to come to me and say, well, Mr. Woods, can I stay if I come up with the money? Of course, I'm going to say no.